In this video, we're going to cover our 5-step framework to hire the right key employee that will not just grow your business, but maybe eliminate a little or probably a lot of stress off of you and free up your time and energy so you can focus on the highest value activities to exponentially grow your business. This is our 5-step framework we've used with both our previous companies and our clients to make sure when they are hiring key players into their business, they are setting themselves up for success. This framework covers being clear on who you are hiring, how to define who will be successful in the role you're hiring for, and then increase the chances they will stay and continue to be a great asset as your company grows and allows you to focus on growing the business or going out and enjoying life. If this is a big pain point for you, this is just one of many of our foundations that we create for our clients. We call this one our talent density framework, and it goes much more in depth with you and your business specifically on increasing your business's talent density and bringing in and developing A players so you can scale and you can focus on the things that will bring you the highest value for your business. So if you want, you can hit the link in the description just to book a call with me or one of our mentors to just talk it through. No obligation to do anything. We just want to set you up for success and help out any way that we can. But with that being said, let's get into it. Step number 1 is called our define step. And this is where you're going to define clearly what this candidate needs to accomplish in this role. Now, this is not to be confused with what a job description. A job description just covers what they're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. And yes, that is needed. However, they can be competent and accomplish those things on a day-to-day basis, those tasks, and still fail in the overall mission of the role. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you're trying to hire for a sales manager position. You have sales manager A, sales manager B. Sales manager A has a lot of experience. If you look at their resume, they have 15, 20 years of sales management experience. Most of the companies that they have managed before, their teams are account managers. They go deeper into current accounts, and they very rarely go out and get new business. But very lucrative from a resume standpoint on paper, they look very successful, and they probably were very successful. Sales manager B has maybe a little bit less years of experience, but they have a ton of experience going out and getting new business, creating sales systems, being more aggressive, more business development. Let's say that you define clearly in your business that what you need right now is new business. You need to go out and attack new markets. You need to develop and improve upon your current sales process. Which one would be better? They both look just as good on paper. They both have the experience, the accolades, the knowledge, but which one would be more likely to be successful in your specific business to accomplish the mission that you specifically want them to accomplish? This is why it's so important to be very clear on what they need to accomplish specifically. I need to bring in this sales manager so they can X, Y, and Z and accomplish X, Y, and Z. Not just so that they can do one-on-ones with their team, not just so that they can manage their schedule, not just so that they know how to forecast or do profit loss statements or do all this kind of stuff. You need somebody to come in and accomplish a specific goal. Now, this goal can be short-term, this goal can be longer-term, but ideally, as long as you have it clearly defined what that accomplishment is, you can be much more clear on who you need to bring in. And you can start to create what we call an avatar that we'll get into in the next steps. But if that makes sense, clearly define what you need them to accomplish, clearly define the goal that they need to achieve, the mission, and that'll make it much more clear as we move on to the next step. Step number 2, it's called create your avatar. Now we have it defined what they need to accomplish. You can use this foundation to build out attributes. What skills and characteristics would this person need to be successful at accomplishing these objectives in your company? Again, notice how I said your company. I know people who are absolutely amazing sales leaders, but they would not be successful in certain companies even if they had already accomplished very similar objectives in previous roles. There are some who would do amazing in a maybe more corporate setting, maybe a Fortune 500, they do very well there, but would not last a month if they worked for a shoot from the hip home improvement company from Arkansas. So you want to use all this information, write out the characteristics and skills they would need to accomplish, or at least increase the likelihood that they would accomplish the objectives that you want them to accomplish, along with ideal past experience. Don't pull any punches. It is best to write out too much right now then revisit and then have to narrow things down, than not have enough and have to build upon it. So when I'm going through this exercise, I like to think of them as a character in a movie or like a video game. And I'm trying to build the perfect character to beat the game. What level and type of effective communication do they need? Do they need higher points breaking into new markets, or more points going deeper into new markets? Get very specific. These types of decisions are not the ones to be rushing or half-assing, excuse my language. Typically, you want to be able to narrow it down to the most crucial, maybe 8 to 10 characteristics here. Step number 3, this is the sourcing step. Now you have a very good picture of who this person is. Now you need to find out, where do you find them? We make the mistake of going the easy way, which is to post on Facebook or Indeed or Glassdoor, even a ZipRecruiter. And although these are great tools, not all candidates are on these tools and utilize them. And if you are hiring for a key A playing role, it is unlikely they'll even be on these platforms because, well, they're probably employed. Or they're being headhunted, so they don't necessarily need to be on these platforms. So it's key, once you've defined who these people are, find out where they hang out and utilize your network. It's yet another reason a strong network is so important. Create relationships even with recruiters. And I'm making a whole video on tips on how to work with and vet recruiters, so keep an eye out for that. If you're watching this video a few weeks after it's been released, I likely have that link in the description. If not, feel free to reach out and we can definitely help you out at this step. Step number 4, this is our sorting step, which actually includes a 4-step framework that we implement with our clients, but I won't go into the entire process here. I'll give you the good stuff though, I promise. The important thing is that you have a process in general and that you follow consistently. Otherwise, you don't know what's working and what's not working. Now, if you're working with a recruiter, ideally they have already had an initial conversation with them and sent over a breakdown on how the conversation went, how they feel they may be a good match for the role, and why they feel like they would be a success in your business. But if not, you'll need to do the initial screening yourself. This means establishing the screening parameters. Now, we listed out the characteristics and experience that they need, but you need to be able to weigh those characteristics, because not every characteristic or experience or attribute should be weighed the same as the other. But they still may be needed to be successful in the role. For example, let's say you're hiring for a customer service management role. Experience dealing with angry customers and showing empathy would carry more weight than maybe being organized. You can teach and set up processes for organization, but it is much more difficult to teach empathy, so that would be graded a little bit higher. Next is the screening interview, which could probably be done over the phone. It's 15 to 20 minutes just to clarify and get some preliminary information. The key with this is, and this is where we see a lot of businesses fail when they're hiring, is they change their process every time. Stick to the same questions. Get consistent data and feedback, then adjust when you have the data. It's 15 to 20 minutes, same questions. From there you have the top grading interview. This can be 60 to 90 minutes, and you cover their work history in depth and accomplishments in depth, their previous roles, and analyze their relationships with previous employers in depth. This is where you can really get into detail if that they are the right person to accomplish the things that you need them to accomplish, and their accomplishments match what they did on their resume, and they align with what we established in step number 1. We can go way into depth on this one, so keep an eye out for another video where we break down the different types of interviews, or reach out, we can help you out. The last step in this one is called the bullseye. This is where you get to have some fun. This is my favorite part. There's no right or wrong way to perform this interview. Probably a wrong way, but there's a lot more right ways. But this is where, if you want to simplify it, you can call it, what is your beer test? Can you stand to have a beer with them? How do they treat other people in the real world? Do they carry themselves in a way that is consistent with the culture you're trying to create, the way you want the company to be perceived? I have some stories from both myself and clients and mentors that have some very fun ways that they perform this type of interview. From taking them off-roading to see how they handle stressful situations, to driving around running errands, or having the receptionist drop a pen and make sure that they pick it up and are respectful. Create this test and what that may look like for you, and have some fun with it. And like I said before, if you want to talk this through, click on the link and we're more than happy to help you out. There are also some amazing tools that you can use to get a more in-depth look at your candidates and how they may or may not be a good cultural fit for your team. One in particular is Koios. In a world craving customized solutions, Koios stands out by offering tailored leadership solutions. Their cutting-edge AI delves deep into personality insights, that empowers leaders and business owners to adapt their approach to each team member's unique psychological profile. What's the result? A surge in motivation and productivity that traditional one-size-fits-all methods, they just can't match. But they don't just stop there. Koios crafts synergistic teams by bringing together diverse personalities, creating an environment where innovation isn't just something that's encouraged. It's going to be inevitable. Imagine being able to pinpoint exactly what your team is missing to perform at their best. Have a clear understanding of how a new hire will fit in, how to lead and get the best out of them quicker. And as the business landscape evolves, staying ahead means anticipating change. Koios equips leaders with predictive insights, transforming team dynamics from reactive to proactive. With Koios, you're not just navigating the future, you are shaping it. Koios is helping us redefine leadership and unleashing our clients and your team's potential. Start your journey today and lead with confidence tomorrow. Hit the link in the description below and use code SUMMIT10 at checkout to receive 10% off your first 3 months. Now, back to the episode. Thanks for watching that little presentation, but now we're on to step number 5, which is offer. It's time to tally up the scores, look over the data, and make your decision. But this is where many drop the ball. You have a candidate and they're perfect. They passed every test, but you miss one or all of these 3 things. You don't research the market, and you lowball the compensation offer. You do not offer benefits that are important specifically to them, and you don't sell the opportunity. First mistake of lowballing the offer is easy. Just ask your network. Make some calls. If you work with a recruiter, they are a great resource. If you have a good relationship with them, just ask. A key A player that sticks around is the most valuable asset you could ever have as a business owner. So be aware and don't undercut that compensation offer. Second, the benefits package. There will be other videos on the benefit package, but don't get lost on the typical types of benefits, the 401ks, the dental, medical. And yes, those may be extremely important to some, especially if they have a family or maybe they're a bit older. But for some candidates, these are not the most important benefits to them. How will you invest in their development? How will they benefit from just being around you? Will you push them to be better and grow, even if that means one day they may leave you? So be intentional when you're offering benefits and offer the right, most important benefits to them. Lastly, you don't sell the opportunity. And this is a typical one because you assume if they made it through all these interviews, they must be all in and know what they're getting themselves into. But they may have been just going through these just so they could leverage your offer for another job. Put together the proper offer, do your research, offer them a benefit package that means the world to them, and sell them on the vision of the company and the opportunity that is ahead of them. No, this framework, when done perfectly, does not guarantee the candidate that makes it through will be perfect, stay forever, and make your business millions, but it does drastically increase the chances. And if followed consistency, you can look at the data and the outcomes and make the proper adjustments. If you just wing it every time and do not put the emphasis on your talent acquisition process, like this, it will end up costing you big time in the long term. If you found this helpful and want to see how we can help you scale your business consistently, and I'm not talking about a magic software or a magic technique, this is about setting up your business foundations so that you can grow consistently and constantly without feel like you're spinning on a hamster wheel, and get you out of owning a job and into the life you dreamed of with a business that allows you to do so, and everyone on your team to do the same. Click the link below. No obligation. We'll just have a quick chat and see if we'd even be a good fit. But until next time, do not stop chasing your next summit.